When I was growing up as a kid, I wanted to be like a counselor or, believe it or not, an officer, a cop with law enforcement. My childhood was basically, I was raised by my mother and my grandmother because my father was an alcoholic. I suffered from mental health for pretty much all my life. It got to the point where my depression was going like a downward spiral. It affected my anger a lot. That's why I ended up in jail, prison twice in Vegas, multiple times out here in Colorado. Ended up relapsing, using my drug of choice as pretty much as a scapegoat. It was hard. I ended up in the jail down the street from here. As soon as I got out, I was slipping right back into my drug of choice. Sure enough, I ended up in hospitals when IVs in my neck being sedated. Nurses tell me, "Oh, did you realize that you attacked a cop last night?" I never knew that. I never do things like that. And I know I'm better than that.
Roads to Recovery is a system of care for people who are struggling with addiction, mental health, and behavioral health needs. Our goal is really to divert people out of the justice system and into services to support stability. We do that by meeting people where they're at, giving them a choice on what they would like their stability journey to look like or their recovery journey to look like, and then supporting them through that whole process.
I have been working with James here for about 1.5 years now. He has definitely gone through it all. Peak addiction, lots of justice involvement, homelessness, severe and persistent mental health. All of those factors have made it really difficult for him to kind of get back on his feet and break those habits, those cycles. At the beginning, James was always in crisis. He always needed like the top level of support. He couldn't process any of it on his own. He didn't have people in his corner that could teach him how to do that.
So James is in charge of the chore board. So one week you might be unloading the dishwasher, one week you might be taking out the trash. Everybody gets a chance to do all the chores because that's what it takes to live on your own anyway. James is a great guy, really he is. I think through his addiction, he lost who he was.
When we are able to divert people out of the justice system and into the coordinated system of care, it really helps get to the root of the issue of why they continue to go to jail. And so if they're getting picked up on trespassing charges or low-level drug charges, and we're able to connect them with a service to help solve what the root of that issue is, rather than going to jail, they're able to learn pro-social activities. They're able to have these life skills, and instead of using the justice system, they're able to really get back on their feet in a different way with support from the program.
All the teams that helped me, like Second Chance, my Sober Living House Mentor Country, Roads to Recovery, my therapist, all my teams behind me, I can't do it without them. Sometimes when stuff gets rough, I try my best to handle myself, but if I know I can't, pick up my phone, call for help.
All these different people and organizations fill a unique need. You can look at him as a holistic person and everything helps him in a different way. He can't just do it with one resource or one person. All of these things come together and really lift him up.
What Roads to Recovery sets out to do is flip the way the system works, that when someone is ready for services, we are ready with a menu of options for on-demand access. Everyone's journey is different, and so it's really important for us to be able to provide a variety of services in real time so that people can choose what is that next best step for them, and then we support them along that journey.
James has come so far, and I think this is the first time in his adult life that he really feels good about himself again.
I would like to see James back into the workforce here in the next 4 to 5 months and get him earning a paycheck, and let's work a budget and try to get him into an apartment where he can have his life back, you know?
It means the world to me. I just want to let the world know, if I can do it, anybody can do it. They just gotta go out there and, search for those resources. That's why when I'm out in the community and I see somebody struggle, I'm like, hey, are you all right? No, like if you're going through something, let me know and I'll be that ear to, listen to you.
Our long-term goal for Roads to Recovery is to be able to serve more people who are interested in accessing services.
I always want to, pay it forward to help out anybody I can when I can. If you want that help, there's help out there for you. You just got to go out there and reach for it.
Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page and stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver, premiering each month. Thanks for watching, Denver.